I've worked with dozens of women on GLP-1 in the last 2 years. Some of them still keeping their results, even after stop taking the medication. The other just regained the whole weight back, and they unfortunately gained even more. In this video, I'm going to show you what exactly separates these two groups of people. It has nothing to do with genetic, with luck, or even with the type of GLP-1. It's one thing you have to start doing long before even stop the medication. If you're already on GLP-1, if you're considering taking this medication, or you stop taking this medication and you're really shocked about everything that is happening to your body, to your hunger, to your mood, please watch this video. I will show you from the practical perspective, after working with so many women around the world, how it works for them and how you can implement it to yourself. I'm Sofia. I have been a nutritionist for the past 12 years, and I work with more than 6,000 clients. And many of them in the past 2 years are on GLP-1 medication. Some of them were considering to taking medication, some of them came to me and to my team, they were already on GLP-1, and some of them came to me asking like, Sofia, how I can stop taking this medication and not regain this old weight back. I will share with you this practical part of this topic because I see that people are not talking enough about that. They're not showing this practical part. Specialists are saying Ozempic is perfect, or someone is saying like it's not necessary and you need to take some supplements instead. But too less people are really showing this practical part of those people who were taking medication and who kept their weight off. And I will show you exactly these examples and show you what you need to do and what you should not do if you want to have long-lasting results. Okay, quick recap. In case you haven't watched my previous video about Ozempic. GLP-1 actually is a natural hormone. Our body produces it after we have been eating something. And it's like a signal to our brain, I'm full, I have enough food. The difference between GLP-1, this natural GLP-1, and GLP-1 we are taking in terms of medication is that this natural GLP-1 lasts for just 2 minutes. So like after 2 minutes, if you feel that you haven't eaten enough, if you have prediabetes, insulin resistance, diabetes type 2, you start eating more. Some more food, more sweets, etc. So like it's maybe more difficult to you to stop eating after you finish the meal. On the other hand, GLP-1 in form of medication lasts for 7 days. That's why we should not take this injection daily, because this effect of this medication prolongs for 7 days. And like for 7 days, we have reduced appetite because our body have this constant hormone saying like, I'm full, I don't want to eat, like I don't need food. And for some people, it's even difficult to be able to eat their amount of calories, the proper amount of calories to have like this proper weight loss. I will talk about this a bit later, because they just don't have appetite. They're full. And that's also a problem we need to work on if we want to sustain our results after stopping taking GLP-1 medication. So imagine you've been taking this medication for a year or more, and you had this constant signal saying, I'm full, and then you stop taking this medication, and in 5 days or 7 days, this signals comes back and like it disappears. It's nothing that could stop you from start eating more. There's also second hormone called ghrelin. I would use my daughter Dinosaur. I hope she will not be mad at me while she's at school, because you know kids. So this hormone is a hunger hormone. When you're taking GLP-1, this hormone is like basically at sleep. It's like it's peaceful, it's sleeping, it doesn't bother us. But when we stop taking medication, it wakes up and it says like, wow, I'm so hungry, just give me some food. And your body collapsed, your appetite collapsed, and you do not understand what happened to you, especially if you've been on GLP-1 for a long time. You already adjusted to this I'm full signal, and now you feel like you're craving everything, like every food, sweets, fat, salt, doesn't matter. You're just extremely hungry, because all of those hormones, they are awake again and they start signaling you that they want this all food back. First week after stopping medication, you could be okay because you still have the signal of GLP-1 after your last injection. But then week after week, in the first 2 months, could be extremely difficult to control this appetite. And there is something you can do. I will talk about them later in this video today, but it's normal that you feel that you are hungry, that you even maybe hungry, because that's a mixture of all hormones that beat sleeping while you were on medication. And exactly these 2 months after stopping medication is the biggest risk to start regaining your weight back. And the reason for that could be that you've been taking GLP-1 wrong in the first place. I have a separate video about that, you can watch it later, but now I will just drop some details from this video because it's extremely important. If you're taking GLP-1, you are consuming less calories. Obviously, that's how this medication works. But if you are taking not enough calories, if you are not eating enough protein, and if you are not lifting weights, if you are not doing strength training and resistance training, up to 40% of the weight you lost would come from muscle. Muscles for our body is like fire. It burns so many calories you cannot even imagine. And if you lost, I don't know, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, more than that, 40% out of that could be your muscle. If you lost your muscle, you also lost the part of your metabolism. It means that on a regular day, you will burn less calories than you burned before, even before starting Ozempic. And let's imagine these two parts at the same time. So you're burning less calories because you lost some muscle, up to 40%, which is like huge number. And at the same time, your appetite goes up. And you see, like, you start eating more and you have less muscle to be able to burn this amount of calories. And for sure, you're regaining the weight back. So there's like two things that we need to always remember. When we are taking this medication, it's a perfect time for us to change our nutritional habits, to change our sport routine, because otherwise that will be like no chance that you will keep this weight off. It's not possible. You can just be like forever on this medication, which is maybe not the case for you. But like when we are taking this medication, it's a perfect time to change our nutrition, to take enough protein, to do resistance training, to be able to keep this weight afterwards. If you did everything right on GLP-1, you would lose fat, not muscles. And when your appetite goes up, your muscle will help you to burn enough amount of calories. And after a few months of calibrating, your scales will freeze on some point, and you will not lose the results you've been working on for years maybe. Look, if you're listening to me right now and thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna happen to me, I have a free quiz that will help you to understand your metabolism better. It's a personalized quiz, and after filling it up, you will get some personalized recommendation from me on your mailbox. Invest these 2 minutes to understand your metabolism better. Okay, back to science. So there are 3 mistakes people I've seen in my practice were doing, which leads to regaining this whole weight back even more. Most of the cases, people even regained more weight back that they lost on GLP-1. And those are 3 mistakes. The first one is just stopping medication one day. When you decided like, okay, I will not pay for this anymore, like I'm done. I've watched this video on YouTube and I understood that it's not good for me or stuff like that. Please don't do that. First, talk to your doctor, because your doctor needs to give you like the step-by-step plan how you can stop doing the medication. We are doing also this in my program with my doctors. We have this specific program for people who are on GLP-1, and in case you need help because you don't have your doctor, feel free to sign up to the program. But please don't do that, because you would collapse your whole process and your body. Just talk to your doctor first, or change the doctor if you don't trust your doctor. Second, people who regain the weight back, they relied completely on medication. They thought that medication will do all the work for them, which is not possible, because it's not magic pill. No matter how wonderful this medication could be, how helpful it could be for people who struggle with weight loss, obesity, diabetes type 2, it's not a magic pill. You need to do your part of work. You need to use this time when you're on GLP-1, when it's easier for you to control your appetite, to control your ghrelin. It's your time to use it to change your nutrition habits, your workout habits, and like to fix your nutrition in general. And number 3 mistake is not protecting your muscle while you're on GLP-1. The one thing I'm hearing from clients who come into me after doing GLP-1 on their own, after coming to me asking like, Sofia, how I can stop doing that? They all saying like, I'm so regret that I did not protect my muscles. Because if you're losing up to 40% of your muscle, if you're a woman in your 35, 45, that would be extremely difficult to rebuild those muscles, because with age it gets more difficult for us to gain even 1 kilo of muscles. That's why you need to protect your muscle. That's like your number 1 priority when you're on GLP-1. And I've heard so many stories, people saying like, I really regret I lost this time, and now like I lost not just my fat, but also my muscle mass. Okay, now let me give you a plan. In case you're now on GLP-1, you're thinking about stop it, or you just started it, what you can do in the end to be able to keep your weight off for long time, probably for the whole of your life. For my clients, I call it 4P rule. P1 is protein. 30 to 40 grams per meal 3 times a day. Non-negotiable rule, okay? We need to agree to that. In any form of protein you like, animal protein, plant-based protein, whey protein, like protein cocktails, protein shake, doesn't matter. Like take this protein and it's like your number one rule. That's your P1 you need to have in this like 4P rule. Second is power. Choose wisely your workouts, especially when you're on GLP-1. Many women in this age of my clients, like 35, 45 plus, they were raised in a time when cardio was everything, like this HIIT trainings, cardio trainings, like running, cycling, stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of cycling. I'm also cycling every week, but we need to protect our muscles. And to protect our muscles, we need to do resistance training. We need to lift weight. That is the only chance we can support the muscle mass, because cardio is not supporting the muscle mass, just resistance training. So our second P is power. Change your workouts to resistance training and weightlifting. Third P is plate. I know that everyone is talking about protein, and I'm not saying that's not important because it's our first P in our rule, but protein is not everything. You know, like we have some another macronutrients we also need to put on our plate, like complex carbohydrates, fats, and fiber. So while you're on GLP-1, make sure you understand how plate works, because it's a really simple rule. You need to divide your plate like by half. 40 to 50% of your plate should be vegetables. Cooked, raw, doesn't matter. Then you have protein, 30%, 25%, and then you have complex carbs, 25%, and then you have fats on top. Don't focus extremely on protein itself, because yes, that's important. That's a like insurance for our muscles while we're on GLP or weight loss in general. But if you will learn how to eat fiber and carbohydrates, that will help you to feel more satiety after you will stop GLP-1. Because fiber, like any vegetables at all, they have so few calories. At the same time, they help to expand our stomach, which is lower down the ghrelin, this hormone that is lying on my floor right now in form of dinosaur. So like you need to learn how to eat other nutrients apart of protein. Okay, don't forget it, because everyone is talking just about protein, but we have something else also important on the plate. And the 4P is community. Surround yourself with people who are supporting you in this process, because you know, like now we are supporting ourselves with just social media. We're looking for some bloggers, we are reading their stories, they're sharing their experience, but you need to surround yourself with people who support you, but also who are professional on this topic. Surround yourself with a nutritionist, with fitness trainer, with a good doctor, because those people will also not just support you like mentally and emotionally, that they will build the plan for you, the proper plan, how you can achieve your results and how you can sustain these results in the long term after you stop that. We have this community at the Body School. We work with clients, we support them daily, individually, personally, on daily basis, and we see how important it is. Apart from this like personalized strategy we build for our clients, create a specific community so people could gather together to be able to support each other also. So like find this community for yourself, professional, educated people who supports you on this journey and who really understands what are your needs. So if you're already on GLP-1 and you're thinking about stop doing that because your doctor said you so, or because it's your desire to do so, and you don't want to rebound this whole weight back, I will ask you for one thing. Take my free quiz. It's called What Really Stops Your Body from Losing Fat. And don't let the name fool you. It works for people on meds and people off them. It asks about your hormones, about your activity, about your eating habits, and it will help you to understand what is happening with your metabolism right now. And then you will get a response personally from me. One last thing in the end. GLP-1 is not a failure. It's a perfect tool, improves so many lives if people use it correctly. I've seen in my practice people on both sides. Those who are using it as a tool and those who are using it as a magic pill. I hope after this video you will use this medication as a tool, doing everything possible to not just gain this result, but also keep this weight off after you stop taking medication, and you will have long-lasting results. I'm Sofia, this is Beyond Dieting channel, and if this video helped you to see things differently, hit the subscribe button. I'm releasing a new video every single week. Bye bye!